Hello there, everybody. Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. My name is Bella Ralston. I'm also known as Mommy Lay. Hello, everyone. It's Lay Day today. It's time to play with some art supplies, with some colors, with mediums, with drawing, with just being creative and spending some time in our sketchbook today. I am super excited. I did provide a template for today's class, so hopefully you were able to download that and trace it. I have it in the comments section if you guys need it. Hello, hello. Hi, Sarah. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Good afternoon. I hope everybody is in good spirits today. In front of me is my sketchbook. I have my sketch ready, pun intended, in my sketchbook. I also have my watercolors in here. Hey, Angie, it's nice to have you here. Good afternoon. I'm so glad you're here. All right. So over here, I have my watercolors. I have a couple of round brushes in here. I have different sizes of round brushes. The biggest or the largest one that I have is a number 6, and probably the smallest I have is the one that I'm going to use as a number 2, just so we can have like small details and all that. And then I do have my colored pencil. I'm going to use like a deep, like a blue, almost this is like gosh. This is like a deep blue, navy blue to me. So if you have like a deep purple, just like that one, or whatever color you would like to use, I'm going to use that for details later on. And then if you need other colors, go ahead and pull out some colors. I'm going to use the black edition colored pencils just because this is what I have closest to me here on my desk. And then I do have Faber-Castell's Shake and Paint, just, in case I want to add some details, some highlights later on, then I can do that. I also have my kneaded eraser. Kneaded, oh my gosh. Kneaded eraser, kneadable art eraser. There you go. It's much better say kneadable eraser. So that I can lighten our sketch. And then I was thinking, I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I have it here anyways. I was thinking if I want to use like the Faber-Castell, the art crayons for the background, maybe do like a light blue wash. Please tell me why I prefer to use the gelatos or the art crayons in the background. If you know, you know. Because I think you guys know, because it is water almost like semi-permanent when it's dry, right? So I love using that. It means that I don't have to be so careful with colors bleeding through, with colors blending on top of one another. So I really love the art crayons for that very reason. Okay, so I am going to use my kneadable art eraser, and I'm just going over my sketch in here just to lighten it. I didn't even have to make it perfect. Look at my glasses for my little tiny bee. It's so messy, but it's okay. I still need the guide in here. So I'm going over it just ever so lightly, just so I can still have a really nice guided drawing so I know where all my layers are going to go. Now, when it comes to watercolor, you know that we have to work from our lightest color and then to our darkest, right? So that I am going to choose, that's why I think I want to start with our background. So I'm really contemplating on I'm using the art crayons today. And I want to use it just as a watercolor. And so, okay, I think I have a good amount of like guided sketch in here. I know where everything would be. And then I'll use my pencil later on to bring back some details. So again, like what I was saying, we're going to start with our lightest color. And also the largest one would be the background color, actually. So if I want to use the art crayons, I should probably start it now. Okay, so the two colors that I have in here, you don't have to use the art crayons. If you do not have the art crayons, you can stick with the watercolors. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so I have the Aqua Dolce, which is really pitiful because look how much I have left. Almost like nothing. And then I guess I pulled out one of the, I think this is the iridescent. So I have Blue Moon, which I think is going to be pretty if I want to use it. Okay, let's see. I don't know if I want to smudge it. I feel like I want to smudge it though. Does that make any sense? So, you know what? I'm going to try and smudge it, you guys, because this is what's the art crayons are so great at. But before that, let me grab um, just a piece of paper. Okay, hold on. So that I can put it underneath and I don't have to mess up my sketchbook pages. So I'm going to grab a copy paper. This is how I like to do it. I just grab a copy paper and I put it underneath in between the pages. So just like this. We're just going to go put it right over here. And then there we go. Then I can go over the edge and then I don't have to worry about um the other paper or the other page. Okay, so I'm just going to try and move slowly. Okay, so if you have watercolors, you can start working on the background if you would like. So I'm just going to smudge outside and then I can work with some brush later on if I want to. But to get the concentrated color, the pure pigment, I really want to apply it directly onto the paper and then use a little bit of water so that we can activate that pigment and start smudging and then start blending. And I'm not trying to create like perfection, right? Because look at the strokes, look at all the blending and the application. It's not really perfect. Well, I don't really mind. I just want to lay down some colors in here, especially over it on top like that. So this is the color Blue Moon. So if you have like any blue color, it'll look nice with our yellow and oranges later on. I'm gonna go over that and then just kind of like blend it. And then now, getting closer, we can start using some round brush if you would like. This is what the art crayons is so great for because then later on, because we've blended this and we're going to wait for this to dry, the underneath layer is not going to be bothered. So we can just go on with our happy self and apply some colors. So I'm just, oops, I think I got some on my bee's face, but it's okay. One thing that I am just careful about smudging so much is I'm kind of like picking off residue from our paper. So if you are worried about that, then try not to smudge so much. But I mean, for my friends, creative friends here who's been joining me for a long time, you guys know that I have heavy hand pressure. So, you know, that's always an issue, whether it's like lettering or creating an artwork, that's always the case. All right, so now I'm going to use a round brush. I'm just going to go pick up some of the pigments directly from the art crayons. And I'm just going to go here. So as you can see, it's not going to be as opaque or as vibrant as applying the pigments or the sticks directly onto our sketchbook. So I'm just trying to be as careful as I can. Again, especially with my background, if it can be a little bit messy, I think it's better anyways. There we go. If you have like a textured palette, you can also use that. Put the art crayons in your palette and then pick up some of that colors, the pigments. But it's okay. I like doing it like this way. And I'm just going to go over some of the leaves. It's okay because we're going to cover it up later on with some colors. I just want to lay down colors as much as I can, knowing that we can just layer on top of this. So for a color palette today, I was thinking we're going to use some complementary colors. We use some yellow and purple, and then we have blues as well. I'm going to show you my color wheel. This is a really nice color wheel to have. I can't remember where I got it, but I'm sure that you can find some over at Michael's. As you can see, if we use some yellow today, we can have a direct complementary color would be some violet colors, right? And then we can also use split complementary would be some red violet and then also some blue violet right there, right? So that's what I was thinking. And then we can put in a little bit of orange in there. Then we're thinking of adding some tetrad color. So basically, if we're going to do yellow and violet, that would be our main colors. That would be are direct complementary colors. And then if we want to do a tetrad is just using a combination of four colors on the wheel that are two sets of complements. So we have yellow and violet, and then we can do orange and blue as well, right? So we're using four colors in there, and that all four colors are direct complementary colors of each other. So we can do that. We can add a little bit of blue. We can add a little bit of orange later on. So I think that color palette is going to be really fun. It's really bright. And then also everything will look so cohesive, looks so nice together. So I do hope that you're doing well. And then I'm going to just finish the background. I think this is good. The one that I picked, again, is from the iridescent set. And the art crayons are available in different finishes. There's like a bright, there's a pastel color, there's metallics, there's iridescent 1 and then iridescent 2, right? So the Blue Moon has this beautiful shimmer. I don't think the camera is able to pick it up, but over here in this area, you can see a lot of that shimmer, and it's so beautiful. So pretty. So pretty. So all of that shimmer over there. Now I'm going to have to change the color of my wings because I was going to color it blue, but then since we've added the background, I think I'm going to make my wings of my bee violet. So a direct complementary color from the yellow, right? So I'm just adding it like that. It's a little bit messy, but we're good. Okay, I like that. I like that. All right, now I'm gonna go. So guys, this is all I have left of my Aqua Dolce. That is so pitiful. Okay, I gotta open the new set. I think this is one of my favorite colors, don't you think? Okay, we'll set that aside. Then I'll grab my um heat tool. I'm just gonna go over this. Oops, I have a little bit of like Aqua Dolce in there. This is one of my most useful tool here in my office, in my studio, my craft room, whatever you want to call it, is the vacuum, especially when I'm working with like pastels, um, eraser suds. Oh, that one is so good. Okay, so we're just going to go over with our heat tool, make sure that everything is blended and dry. Yeah, I can really see lots of like paper texture on top. I think I smudged it a little too heavy. I am not surprised though. I have heavy hands. Terrible. All right, good. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I want to start with the yellow color, the lightest color that we have. I'm going to go move this over here so I can make some blends over here on the side. So we're picking up the colors, the pigments, and then we're just applying here in the palette. Add a little bit more water. I think that's good. All right. Now we're going to start So we're going to do wet on dry. Dry paper, or at least I think it's dry. We're just going to start coloring our little bee. And then I'm not trying to be so careful. I mean, I'm just try to get the full, the whole shape. Remember, we're just adding our base colors for now, right? So we can add in more vibrancy later on, or if you want to add some contrast later on, we can do so. Oops, just add a little bit of water, just a tiny bit. Wow, that is really bright. And look what is happening. Because it's wet? Is that the camera's effect? Why is that? That's so odd. That's so weird. Fix that. Why is it doing that? It's like a contrast. That's so weird. Okay, so just color in the hands. Again, we're just gonna lay down just our base color. All right. Okay. That's good. I think it's the moisture that's like getting picked up. I don't know. It's just so weird. It's the light that's doing it. Okay, then I want to color in my sample photo. I think I used some blue colors for the flowers, but this time I want to do the center of my flower. Yellow. Now we're going to do direct complementary colors here. So violet and yellow. We'll see what it looks like. So I'm going to do the center. Just like that. And then over here. Oops. All right. And I'm going to go clean my brush. Huh. That's so odd. I'm going to do my heat too. There's my heat too. So I was wondering if we should add like a deep blue for the flower. For the big um leaves on the back. I was wondering where we should put our orange. I think we should make this one orange. The petals of the big flowers. Let's try it. We're just playing. You guys know how I do things. Every week we're like experimenting. We're not afraid to make boo-boos and mistakes in here because that's what art is, right? That's how you learn. That's how you find combinations that might not work, but you know what? That's gonna be okay. I think I'm gonna start with the big leaves on the back just because. So we're gonna choose ah, do we choose a tetrad? So if we want to do the yellow and violet here, then we got to do the orange and then the blue. Okay. All right. Let's do blue then. Okay. I'm going to go over here in this palette and then choose this one. All right. And then I'm going to create some blend over here. Okay. Add a little bit of water. I just don't know if it will pop enough, but I think so because over here we didn't make our blue, the background from the art crayons, excuse me, dark. So, and this one is like slightly darker. So, okay. So remember, I'm going to use a tip of my brush to create like thinner lines and then just give it a little bit of press like that. And then slowly lift, right? To create a thin line again. Now we're just going to go bring it all the way down. Okay. I think we might need a little bit more like that. Now, the problem is if it's too small for you, the area, try not to use too big of a brush. The problem with the brush is that it's going to hold a lot of water. And if you don't want like a watery blend, then use like a smaller brush, maybe a number 4 if you would like. Or just be careful when adding your water. So don't add too much and just go easy on that water. But the thing is, the good thing with a bigger brush is that you don't have to load it so often, if that makes any sense. I'm just going to go careful a little over there because that's where one of the leaves are going to be. Now I think, oh, I like it, right? And a little bit more. And then add a little bit of water. So see just how little water, I just kind of like dabbed the tip of my brush. I didn't have to load my whole brush in there, just a little bit on the tip, just to add some water in here so that I know my brush will not be overloaded with too much moisture, too much water. Okay. So again, the tip, bend, flex a little, and then gently lift, right? Tip, bend and flex, and then lift again. And then just bring it all the way down. Whoa. Grab a little bit more there and do the same thing. Just like that. Grab some more. What I'm learning lately is to not make too much, um, do not make too much blended colors in your palette because I find myself wasting so much doing that. It's just been crazy. Um, Especially when picking up pigments directly from the palette. That is one of the things that I had to really stop myself from doing is picking up colors directly from here because it's not good for me. Because with that heavy hands, almost like I you would think I'm intentionally doing it, but I promise I'm not. But yeah, it's just a little bit crazy. Okay, now I'm gonna choose some because this is the color that we have. So now we have the light blue, almost like a lighter blue, right? Tint of blue for the background. And then we have our orange in here. Then we have our yellow. So this is a pure color yellow, which is we have for our bee. And then if we're going to use the violet color for our flower, we can do that. Since we have the flower big, I'm going to create um, another blend for that one. Ooh, I feel like now I don't know my swatches because I didn't do my swatches over here. Which is the violet color? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to guess. I feel like that one. Yep, that's good. Okay, add a little bit of water. All right, I think that's a good blend. But I want to do a little bit of wet on wet, so that's why I'm like cleaning my brush and I'm just whatever water in here, I'm going to apply it here to my flower. And I'm going to be really careful because again, there's this watercolor. So you're going to reactivate those colors. And that is why I used the art crayons for the background because I didn't want to worry about this so much. So now I'm just picking up clean water and applying it all over my flower shape. Oops, little. Okay. And then just kind of like dabbing, dabbing. I'm going to add a little bit more water in this mix, that mixture in there. This is more like this is like a violet color to you. More like a small blue to me. I don't know about that violet, you guys. I'm gonna go over here. Try this one. This is more like a purple now. It's more like, I think this is more like a violet. What do you guys think? Right? Yeah, I'm going with this. The other one's more like a small blue. Okay, more like a blue violet. This one's more like a, I think that's a violet. Okay, so while this is still wet, I'm just going to drop some colors to the very bottom. Now, the sketchbook that I'm using today is not entirely watercolor sketchbook, but it is a mixed media sketchbook. So look at the water or the mixture is not traveling as well as you would expect. So it's almost like we're working it, right? Because it doesn't really travel as well as I was hoping. Other, or that, or maybe I didn't, oops, add enough water. But I'm just going to go pick up some clean water, or as clean as I would hope. And I'm just going to go. But basically, we just want to add the darkest value to the bottom part of our flower. And over here in the middle and the top would be just lighter. So whatever moisture I have in my brush and whatever color that we can pick up from the page, we're just going to go move it around and color in the rest of our shape or the rest of the flower. As long as we have the darkest value here at the bottom. And I think we did a great job. Just going to go be careful. You know what? Let me grab my smaller brush. I think this is the number 2, and I'm just going to pick up whatever is there on the page, and I'm just going to go color in the rest as careful as I can. Doesn't have to be super perfect, but just try to go as careful as you can. There you go. That's much better. All right. Oops. And then shall we use the orange color for flowers? This is a hard question. Since we use blue, I feel like we have to use some orange in here. Oh, I have a little bit more leaves over there that I didn't get, so hold on. Let me grab a little bit of that mixture in there. Is that the mixture? No, it wasn't it? I'm just gonna go grab a little bit, just a little bit. I have another set of, not set, kind of another piece of leaf that I didn't color in. Good thing I caught that. It is definitely, it needs to be darker because that flower is casting. And then there's more here. What was I thinking, you guys? Right. And a little bit more. What? Okay. Now we're going to go glaze over that later on with some deep, like, deep aqua, deep turquoise color. There we go. If you ask me, I want to make my flowers pink. That's what I want. I really want to make it magenta. It's close. I mean, look. So it's kind of like red violet, right? So we're doing a split complementary from the yellow. No one's going to stop me if I don't. Let's do it. Still gonna look great. I mean, why not? Here we go, guys. Every week we always change the plan, or Lay always change the plan. Sorry, you guys. We're having fun. Okay, I'm gonna go over here so that this will dry, then I can go hop over here, right? So I want to go around my yellow, so all the vibrancy, all the contrast will stay right in the middle. And then whatever is loaded in my brush, I'm just gonna go try and color in the rest of the petals. Just like that, right? And I'm gonna go clean my brush, dab the excess water, and then gently fix some of that strokes that I've left. And I think this is the beauty of watercolor, the imperfection. I don't know if it's just me, but I just love it. I love the gradients, the colors. I love the contrast, the natural contrast it creates when it's, you know, dries up, and I just love it so much. And most especially when I'm playing in my sketchbook, this is the time where it's really just kind of like create and play. You testing out different color palettes, what you feel about this color combination. And I love it. I love all that. Now we're going to repeat the same thing over here. We're going to do the same thing that we did. We're going to go around that oval shape, the center of, or the stamen of that flower. We're just going to go load it up. Or you can go slow and then go for each petal. I just kind of like, especially sketchbook play. Just go lay it down. You can add a little bit more, whatever you have there in your mixture, right? Since we have a little bit more, then I'm just going to apply, especially here at the bottom. And then again, clean your brush, not so much, but load it up with water. And just move all that pigments. I feel like it dried up. Oops, that leaf is a little bit wet. So we're just going to move the color. Thought it would be dry, but there's a little bit more moisture in there. Feel like this one used up more colors. Is it just me? Or why did I have to load this one up so much? Right? I don't know about that. It's kind of weird. See, this one has more. Maybe I've used up so much. Okay, then let's make a little bit more. Remember, this is just your first layer. You can definitely add more later on, but while it's still wet, because I don't want to make like marks, I'm just going to go work it. So let's create our contrast. Again, the contrast is the closest to the center, right? And then this time, instead of like working all the petals, I am being a good girl and just kind of like patiently doing it slow at a time, all right? And clean my brush and then start moving those pigments. Just move it around for your petals. I'm intentionally keeping this a little darker than everything else. Picking up some of the pigments that I have in here and moving it around. Definitely this paper cannot handle too much water. But it's doing its thing. It's still okay. Now I don't want any of the marks, so I'm just gonna go clean it up with some water. Some marks are okay. This one, I'm just gonna go clean it just a little bit. Right, that's good. All right. Now, if you like this one, we can start adding in our contrast here. Again, I'm gonna go, think of it as our light source is right smack in the middle. We have like a spotlight right in the middle to our B, right? So it's casting shadows almost everywhere, to the sides, to the bottom, because the spotlight is here. So everything almost to your sides will cast some shadows. So we can start working on that if we would like to, since I have a little bit of mixture in here already. So let's just work it. So this one, I want a concentrated amount of colors. So I'm just going in. I know I said center, but it's going to cast shadows on the side as well, like that. Remember also the folds of your petal will be quite highlighted. So let's just clean our brush and then gently just add a little bit of water, just like that. I'm going to clean it up even more. If you have like paper towel, you can dab it with some paper towel if you would like. Oops. All that. I think that's going to be real nice. Hey, Jamie. Hey, girl. All right. And then let's work on our contrast here on this side. Just like that. Like that. Oops. Don't like that. So I'm just going to clear it with some water. And then here, the contrast there, pick up a little bit, put in your palette, like that, and then clean again. So when it comes to watercolor, it's just a ratio, right? So, and sometimes it is a little bit overwhelming how much water, how little, how much paint, and all that. And I think the more you do it, you really find that perfect ratio for you or for the illustration that you're actually working on. And also, I feel like watercolors are really forgiving, in that sense that it's like really, it's like, it's okay. Just kind of like, don't give yourself such a hard time. Sometimes it's ourselves that are giving ourselves that stress. So kind of like breathe in. Is it really that bad if you put in your contrast in the wrong area? Is it going to be graded? No, I won't grade your work. I will not criticize it. I'm not. That's not my job. You're already doing that yourself. Okay, I like it. See, we made the folds a little bit more defined. So I'm just going to add just a tiny bit just so we can add that casting thing. Okay, love, love, love that. Now for our flower on top, I'm going to add in just a little bit of details. So I'm going to use our number 2 brush, round brush, dip it in water, just the very tip of it, and then we'll pick up some of that violet color. And we're going to add some details in here. I'm good with my contrast. I'm good with our light and our dark value in here, but we can just add a little bit more. So I'm just going over and picking up whatever mixture we have in our palette, like that. So we can apply it directly. And then this one is not going to hold so much water. Pick up where that is. Now load your brush with water. See how much water I'm going to use. Just the tip of that brush. Right? And then we're just going to go blur out the lines again. And then also blurring out the lines at the same time moving those pigments. Moving it up, There we go. That's good. I'm good with that. So let that dry a little bit. Okay. Now let's work on some of our vines and some of the leaf color, the leaves that we have in here. Okay, remember I talked about some of that green, really deep turquoise color. I think I found the right one. Oh, we talked about doing orange, but then look at us now where we're like all over the place. Because welcome to my mind, inside my head. There you go. This is good. I was just planning on using just like a spring green in here, but then I'm like, I really like this. You know where we're going to add our orange later on? We're going to add orange details to the middle part, to the stamen of our flower. Oh, I'm kind of scared a little bit of this color, so I'm just going to do, now I'm going to clean up my brush. So we're almost just using this to tint this vine right here. I don't mind it. It's very cartoonish and I love it. See how useful that paper is? So useful because you can go over the edge, not having to worry about it so much. We're going to dry that. Okay. And then I'm going to use a little bit more pigment. Add it there, just a dab of water, a little bit more pigment, add it there, just a little bit water. So that's just how much I create a mixture. And then if you need more, then you can create a little bit more, add more if you need to. Now I'm gonna add the deepest, I'm gonna create like 2 shades of this one, of the same color, having a more concentrated, very pigmented mixture here, right? And then we're gonna go over the same one. I almost grabbed the other color. I'm gonna grab a little bit more pigment, add it there to the palette. This is such a pretty color too. We're definitely gonna need to put orange in this to balance in our colors. Definitely. Okay. I like it. And then now, whatever mixture you have in here, oh, that's a little too much water. But it's okay because we want a little bit of lighter than everything else. So I'm going to create that light, same mixture, but lighter, almost just like a tint because the ratio is almost like 90% water and then 10% pigment. So we're creating just a little bit of tint of this color from the mixture that we have. Again, 10%, 90% water, right? So 10% pigment, then 90% water to create just a tint of that same shade. So I'm going to add it here. Oops, just a little too much on my brush. You can use your number 2 brush as well. If this gets, especially because we've added so much water. Remember, that's 90% moisture in there. So it is going to be a lot of water. Oh, we're going to have to change that color because look, can't even tell the difference. But maybe we can later. Okay. So this one, the light blue color that we have, I'm going to add a lot of water in this. The same thing, 10%. Oops, I think I washed my brush too much. Pick up some of that. There you go. That's a good tint. But I'm going to use my number 2 round brush here. Okay, whatever I have, just let it pick up. Just let it. I think it's light enough. I think so. Okay. It's still kind of wet. I hope it'll be okay. If it's still wet, use your heat tool first because the colors are going to bleed to one another. So if you don't want that to happen, and if you're using a larger brush, then definitely just use your heat tool or just wait. That would be the best bet. That's a good tint, light blue tint to that. So I'm going to go clean my brush and then dry this one. And then we're going to start adding a little bit more greeneries and all that using that violet color. I like it. Definitely we need to add orange. I think we need to use orange for the antenna. Maybe we can use orange for the glasses and definitely put in some of the details here in the middle and also add in some tiny flowers all around with some orange color. It is so cute already. Now you understand why I have like that colored pencils later on for details. Some will call it cheating. You know what? I don't think so. It's called mixed media. It's called having fun with your art supplies. All right, we're going to go add our violet color. This one we have like 90% or almost 80% pigment. Okay, maybe 80% pigment and then 20% water. See the difference of that mixture and this mixture? We have more pigments in here. And then we have water. Okay, so I have like, ooh, this one is a little bit wet. I can feel it. So we're just going to add like little eucalyptus-y looking kind of leaves. What do we call it? Vines? Eucalyptus-y. I like the eucalyptus-y. We're going to stick with the eucalyptus-y. Kind of leaves. I'm going to add over here on the side. Like that. La da da. I feel like I always like sketching because when I'm sketching, I'm so not careful. So I can go real fast. When I'm like coloring already, it's like everything's a mess. I'm like, I'm so careful. This is so not fun. All right, pigments. When I sketch it, I just made a blob. And then now I'm like, why am I trying so hard? It's like automatic. Your brain is like, nope, be careful. Nope, you're not doing a good job. Nope, you're not. Why? Okay, let's go add a little bit more there. Now we can make this one on top instead of like behind this big vine. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. So we're like working on our layers in here. All right, this one. So I'm using the number 2 because definitely that will be helpful to have a smaller round brush when working on smaller details. And look how much close I am to the tip of my brush. Probably not a good practice, but you know what? I've gotten so used to it because I have better control when I'm handling the brush so close to the tip. Now, if I want to be looser with my strokes, I'll definitely go hold my brush, you know, right in the middle or almost close to the very end. But if I need control, then trust that this brush is going to be held to the almost to the tip of that. Again, don't know if that's a good practice. Don't really want to know. You cannot change me now. After years of practice, no. Don't tell me I can't do this. Please don't. It's gonna be heartbreaking. You mean I gotta change? No way, Jose. All right. Okay. I feel like I have other over here on the other side. So let's just let this one dry. No, you know what? Let's go. I'm just gonna go add more water in here. So now we're creating a lighter, right? Lighter version of this color. I'm just gonna go carefully, go behind this bigger vine. Ah! And I'm just not gonna be very careful. Just gonna go for it. All right, we're just adding blobs, Lay. Come on, just, just do it. Oops. That's what happens when I'm like, try not to overthink. Then what happens? A blob, literally a blob in here. Yep. It's like just mark making, right? Right, right, right. Okay. So I have more mark making over there. Why? Okay, fine. I don't know how this is working out, but we're just adding tint of that color to the background. And I am attempting to make it look like beautiful marks that would resemble to leaves or the eucalyptus thingy that I was hoping to make. And now when it dries, it's going to be pretty. Or so I'm convincing myself. But you know, we're just going to pretend that it's going to look so pretty. All right. I think I've made good enough marks in there. All right. I'm going to clean that brush. Clean it, clean it, clean it. Okay, good. Now for this, this is what we need, a tint of that. How about we create a gradient? So there's like a tint of the purple, because I want it to be stand out from the flower, but I also don't want it to blend so much with the, what do you call it? Well, the background that we've created. So I'm going to use a turquoise. We're going to create like an ombre, right? For the wings. How's that for a wing? Right, so whatever mixture I have in there. I'm not sure about that wings. I am so sorry, Bee. I'm so sorry. Okay, now I'm gonna go for the orange. Let's go. Just gonna go do the orange. We're gonna be brave. I don't think I'm gonna make my what do you call it? My glasses orange. I don't want it to be orange. All right, so we're just gonna add a little bit of water in there just so we can spread it much easier. I'm gonna oh no, my purple marks. So we're just gonna add a little bit of contrast in here around the neck area, around this. Remember, this is going to be activated with water again. So we're just trying to be, wow, that's a lot of pigments. Lord. Okay, so we're just gonna dab water. We're just gonna ever so carefully, I think I'm doing an okay job. and then clean it up again. Clean up your brushes and then blend. See, I told you we're going to use orange, I think. No, that's too much orange for the neck. Let's bring it up to its face. Oh, be careful of the wings. It's still wet. There. I think that's way too much orange. That we're going to wait until it dries. No, I like it. It looks good. Looks good. I think I'm going to add a little bit more there, as a matter of fact. Just to that tiny bit. It's like casting a shadow. Told you, the spotlight is way over there. Now clean our brush. Load it with some water. Not too much water. Dab that excess, and then just kind of like blend everything again. Okay, try not to overwork it, Excuse me. Now we're going to use the same orange color to add in details to the stamen of the flowers. You can make this any pattern as you wish. I'm just going to make irregular dots because I love that. Truly irregularly, you know, some are like not looking like dots anymore, but we're going to keep going. A little bit more water. If your mixture is harder to spread out, it means you need a little bit more moisture. Moisture. You need a little bit more water. So just add a little bit more water. If the paint is too thick, that mixture is too thick, just add slowly, slowly but surely, little by little. There we go. So pretty. Oop, added too much water. Now let's add a little bit more paint. So I think that's what happens to me. That's why I have too much mixture at a time, because I'm like, I had too much water, so now I'm going to add paint. Now I add too much paint. Now I'm going to add water. So if I'm going to be completely honest, yeah, that's pretty much what's happening when I have too much mixture on my palette. Because I'm like, I couldn't get the ratio right. So, right. I think that's good. That's good. All right. Do we use, no, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use a purple. I'm going to use a violet color for my antenna. So let's just add a little bit more pigment paint in there. Not so much water, maybe just a tad bit. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to go breathe in. There we go. Okay. I made it too darn thick. Okay. I think I saved it. I think. Or so I think. Just gonna go a little bit more here on the other side. Breathe, breathe, Lay. Okay. You're looking like violet now. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna just add a little bit water because I was having a hard time spreading it out. Shall we use the same violet for the glasses? I think I will. I think I'm going to be brave enough to do this with a paintbrush to do my circle. I can't even make a circle with a pen or a pencil. But I'm going to attempt it with a round brush. Here we go. I can do it. Just concentrate on the tip of the brush and then just go, take your time. Take your time. Here we go. And I'm going to do half. You know, you don't have to do the full shape in one sweeping motion. We're just going to take our time. Look at that. We're taking our time. We're doing such a great job. And I'm just applying a really light pressure, concentrating on that tip of the brush. I'm not going to drag it. I'm just taking it one stroke at a time. Look at me go. I got all the orange on my arm. Yeah, we should have done this a little bit earlier. It's okay though. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. Perfect patterns. Okay. Lay, concentrate on the circle. Oh, you got this. Okay, just go move slow. Way too slow, but you're okay. Ah, definitely not a circle, but you know, it resembles a circle. Nah, but we're good. We're just gonna go thicken some parts of it. That does resemble a circle layer. Look at you, champ. All right, champ. Okay, now we're gonna go bring out our colored pencils. And we're ready to add in details. I should have just used a colored pencil, you guys. Why didn't you just ask me? Say, Lay, just use a colored pencil. I should have. I should have. Okay, we're gonna do our eyes. Look how easy this. My gosh. Should have just used a colored pencil. But nope. Just gonna add this one here. Just like that. You're so cute. I'm definitely gonna need to fix that orange. Irregular things. Look at that. That's really a pity. And I'm gonna go over my shape of my bee just so I can add some details like that. And that's why I pick like the deep purple because it's really going to stand out with all the colors that we've used today against the yellow, against the violet, you know, because it's like deep enough, almost like deep navy blue or like a deep purple, actually. I don't know, just a darker. So we can add in details. I'm not going to add in too much line art because I don't really, I wasn't really planning on that look, but just a little bit at a time. Just like that. And we're just adding some curving lines in the middle. We can add some kawaii face to our flower. We can use another color if you would like for the leaves, but you know what? I'm just going to go for it. Just like that. Like that. I'm sorry, flower. I'm sorry for what you went through. You know what? I really love that, like, marks that we've created, that light tint of the violet color. Look how pretty that is. Even though it's like imperfect, I think it added some charm to it. Don't you think? Oh, come on. I know you think so too. I'm gonna grab a deep turquoise color so that I can add in some details to this, just so it'll stand out. Mhm. I love it. Now, if you want to add like a deep magenta, I think I've used my deep magenta really well. I'm just gonna go sharpen it just a little bit, just so we can add details to our flower. You can add in like, you know how we add like curving lines to that main flower. We can do the same way, just following the shape of the petals. When it comes to adding details like this, I don't overthink it anymore. I just kind of like, this is where the fun, just like that. Because you already did the hard part, right? The sketching, the idea alone of what to create, the colors, right? The placement, the composition. So now it's your time to just kind of like really enjoy this process of adding details to your work. Now, if you have like metallic colors, you can add some stars on the background. I think that'll be really, really fun. But remember, I have like a white shake and paint marker in here. You can use that. Just gonna add in some details to my leaves and well, we're there. Just gonna add some blush on to my cute bee. Like that. And do I have orange? Of course I have orange color. I'm so sorry, orange. Really, I am. Forgive me. Sorry, flower. Now we can add in our orange colors. Just adding some stars. And against that blue, chef's kiss. Complimentary. It's beautiful. And then you can make like circles. All right, look at that. I feel like I want to make that deeper, don't you think? Just maybe darker. Do I have any darker? Maybe just use the black pencil. So I feel like it needs to stand out more. Definitely. Just like that. So cute. But we need details for our, what do you call it? For our wings. Because we need to make it stand out. There we go. We need to make a separation of the body as well. Just like that. You can add details to its wings. You can just keep it like that. But there we have it. It's so cute. Ah, can't believe that. Well, we finished this beautiful spring illustration. And you know what's going to be fun with this one is you can actually scan it. Use your printer, scan this. You can use this in your planners, in your journals, really have fun with it. So it doesn't really need or doesn't have to stay just in your sketchbook. You can turn it into a digital item. You can use it as a wallpaper or just take photos in a very well lit space and then use it as your wallpaper or just scan it using a printer or a scanner, right? But you have to forgive that patterns over there. Oh, goodness. But thank you guys so much for joining in. I think I'm going to add just a little bit of white things, but we're done. So again, I will have the rest of, oops, I'm going to go, oops, uh-oh. I'm going to have the rest of the classes for the month of March. Make sure to check her website for that one. And then I'll have all the classes by next week, maybe by Monday. Then just have all the details in there. I'm just adding some patterns and all that because it's always fun to do this. It's one of my favorite things, just to add like mini tiny patterns everywhere. It just adds some visual interest to your illustration, to your piece. And it's just also I have some issues with stopping. So I'm going to stop right there. Don't forget to sign your work. Don't forget to admire your work. You did such a wonderful job. My name is Laybella Ralston, and it's been a pleasure hanging out with you today. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you next week. Same day, Wednesday, and same time, 5 o'clock Central Time. Until next time, stay creative, and stay happy. Bye, everybody.